And now for the much anticipated Dark Knight review. Hi, I'm your host, Alex Ramsey, host of Now the Batman with the Dark Knight review, which I've been looking forward to reviewing for a very long time. Okay, first, my thoughts on it. This is an amazing movie. This is a spectacular movie. This movie is so awesome. I can't even find any other words to describe it. This movie is darker than the first one. It's better than Batman Begins. It's the best Batman-related live-action movie I think I've seen ever, and rightfully so. With the actors it has, Heath Ledger most noticeably as the Joker. I know people talk about him a lot, but he's really good. Aaron Eckhart gets looked over a lot, but he does a great Two-Face, and the turn is great in there too. Also, Gary Oldman and Christian Bale turns in a great performance too. And also the other actors are really great too. This time around, I think her name's Maggie Gyllenhaal is replacing Rachel Dawes, which she does an okay job, but she's not my favorite. But yeah, this is an amazing movie. People have talked about this to death. It's spectacular. The Joker, for instance. I'll get more to this later, but Heath Ledger puts all the incarnations of the Joker together and makes something new, something fresh, and something we'd never seen before, which is amazing. I could sit here and talk about this movie all day long, but you guys have a movie to see pretty soon. I want to get this out before midnight. So I guess next I'll do the summary. Okay, first off, let me start out with the summary. Okay, so it opens up at a bank heist, which we come to find out is hosted by the Joker, who these goons are talking about. And at the end, it turns out that Batman and the Commissioner have been chasing this guy for a while, and also trying to trace the money back to the mob. And we learn that the mob's having trouble too with the whole Batman thing and outsourcing to other people in Hong Kong, which leads Batman to go after that guy, which leads him into the prison. We meet Harvey Dent and discover how committed to justice he is, and Bruce Wayne is very impressed with him. He's discovered someone who can do these amazing things without putting on a mask, and he thinks that his journey as Batman might be almost over. We fast forward a little bit. Joker's created chaos. He escaped from the prison after being caught, and inadvertent, and caused Harvey to get half his face burned off, trying to prove that one, as the Killing Joke again says, that one bad day can basically turn a sane person insane, which is very similar to what basically what his point is in the Killing Joke, which I found really interesting. And it ends with a final confrontation, with at least the Joker part does, with him stopping him from blowing up the boats. The people on it don't blow it up, so it proves the Joker wrong. And the Joker's apprehended by the police. This later leads on to Harvey, and his mind's been twisted by half his face being burned off, and the loss of Rachel, his girlfriend, has destroyed the little sanity he had left. So he goes after Commissioner Gordon's wife. Batman intercepts him, stops him. He ends up dying, and at the end they each agree that Batman will take on the crimes that Harvey's committed, just so that the city will maintain order and stay together. Now that I've given you that brief summary, I guess I'll go on to the pros. Okay, the pros. Number one, like I said in the Batman Begins one, scenes that are directly adapted, almost scene for scene from the comic books. Like, um, Christopher Nolan said Long Halloween was a huge influence on this, and I can see it very clearly now that I've read that book. There's a scene in Long Halloween that they must have gotten inspiration from, where Harvey, Commissioner Gordon, and Batman are all discussing taking down the Roman, which is a game boss, and it's very, very similar to the scene that they portray in The Dark Knight, which I thought was really cool after reading it. Also, just this is a sort of another little thing, but just the design after Harvey gets burned, what he looks like, it's really cool, but it also looks a whole lot like how he looks in Long Halloween after his face gets all scarred up, which I thought was really cool too. I like that they bring stuff like that in. I think it's awesome. Also, like I mentioned earlier, the whole Joker killing joke sort of thing, and I also like the whole speech he gives to Batman about that unstoppable force and the immovable object. The characters in this are great. You really see Batman fall in this one and sort of reach his lowest points. And really, Joker pushes him almost to his breaking point in this, but he doesn't falter unlike some of the other people in this movie. This movie's amazing. It questions like our everyday life. It makes us just think about different things. It makes you think. It's one of the movies that just leaves you thinking afterwards about it, about different scenes, about I wonder what that meant. Just re-examining it over, you catch new things watching it a second time or a third time. It's an amazing movie. Now, some people say that because Heath Ledger died, that if he hadn't, it'd be a lot less successful than it actually turned out to be. I personally don't think that's true. I think it's an amazingly good movie. I think it would have been equally as successful if he didn't die. I think that's just someone's excuse saying, "Oh, he died. That means that movie's successful." No, not really. I mean, it got more attention because of that. But I think people would have gone seeing it. It still would have been a major hit because it's an amazing story. And it really, like I said before, it shows us some of the characters at their lowest moments, which is really bad. Like Batman at the beginning, he says that Batman has no limits, and he really learns that he is right, but that his limits are really pushed by the end of this. That it's not really a happy ending, which I like. It sort of ends with sort of like worse than he was off before. He has to face a villain that he doesn't know how to. It's unpredictable. He's never faced anything like this. He doesn't know how to deal with it. It's not like Ra's or Scarecrow, where he can not easily, but he can try and get inside their head more. The Joker's unpredictable, which he's not ready for at first, which I thought was great. One of my favorite scenes in this is the interrogation scene, which I think is amazing. Just the whole of them going back and forth is some of the best dialogue I think I've ever heard, and just them talking to each other is a really cool scene. The action is amazing. Music, everything is just top notch. It never slows down. You watch it. I remember watching in the movie theater and couldn't believe it was 2 hours long. It went by so quickly. A movie should do that for you. You should watch it and not feel like it's dragging or anything. I think if it had a minute longer, it would have felt like it would be dragging. But it's that perfect. It's edited perfectly to where it goes by. It's just the perfect length, perfect pacing, everything. This movie is just spectacular. I particularly also I think I'm one of the only people that does. I like the redesign of Batman's suit. I think that's cool. I like the Batpod with the big round wheels. I think that's really cool. There's a lot less. There is humor in this, but there's a lot less because it's a darker movie, which I kind of miss because that was some of the stuff in the first one. yeah, Joker's performance. I know I've talked about this a lot, but it's amazing. How he just how different, but just how also familiar he is at the same time. It's a weird sort of feeling, but it's awesome. Aaron Eckhart's amazing. He does a great job as both Two-Face and Harvey, and it's really sad to see him actually fall. Everything is just great. I could talk about this movie forever, but I don't have time to. Okay, the cons. Um, I guess the one thing I could say is that it feels like it has a lot of endings, like it has false endings. I guess that's the really only minor gripe. It doesn't ruin the movie at all. This is an amazing movie. If I were to rate it, I'd probably give it a 5.9 out of 5. 1 to 5, which means it's epically amazing. It's just great. It's a great movie, and I can't wait to see The Dark Knight Rises. This movie is, there's just no words for it. I mean, I'm speechless right now. It's how good this movie is. It redefined superhero movies. People have tried to copy it since then with different superhero properties, and it just doesn't work. Like Nolan did say in an interview, he made such a great movie that he didn't want to make a sequel because he didn't know if he could top that one. And I guess you guys will find out, and I'll find out if he could or not. In my mind, this is one of the best ever live action trilogies, and I hope the third one is as amazing as the first two. I'm sure it will be, knowing Nolan and knowing what I've heard so far from other reviewers. I hope you enjoy this review. If you're going to see the movie tonight, I hope you enjoy that too. And subscribe, comment, let me know what you want me to review next. And so long.